When you see pieces like this or this, usually there is some sort of purpose in mind. You are out looking for gold. It's not very often that you find it by accident, but there are cases where it has occurred, especially when it's much bigger than you are expecting, such as the case with the world's largest gold nugget called Welcome Stranger. But what happens is people go out metal detecting and they find themselves some nuggets of gold. And in the old country, in the United Kingdom, it's not very often that you see pieces like this. But in this video, we're going to talk about a gentleman who did find some gold, and despite a very interesting setback. We'll talk about it as we explore. And this is what he found. In the United Kingdom, in England specifically, this gold bar was discovered. You can see it here next to a 50 pence and coin. And, you know, it's rather small considering its size, but it actually weighs over 2 ounces. What an amazing story this is. CNN's reporting that a treasure hunter struggling with faulty equipment has unearthed a gold nugget believed to be the largest ever found in England. Richard Brock discovered the gold nugget weighing 64.8 grams. That's about 2.3 ounces in the country's Shropshire Hills near the border with Wales. Auction house Mullock Jones said Thursday. That gives you a clue here. It is going up for auction. I probably would have done the same thing because more than likely he can get more than spot for it. But even if it was spot price, I'll tell you what, that's a nice find, especially considering where gold is these days in terms of its price. So as we saw, it's about the size of a UK 50 pence coin. The find, nicknamed Hero's Nugget or Hiro's Nugget, has an estimated worth of about $38,000 to $50,000, $50,700, according to the Shropshire-based Mullock Jones, which is handling the sale of the item. However, it almost seems that luck had eluded Brock, whose equipment most failed him on the day of the dig. Indeed. In fact, speaking of failures, you know, this story kind of eluded my path, and several members of the community reached out to share with me this discovery. That's one of the things I like to do on this channel, is bring you news like this. I have a whole playlist of found precious metal treasure videos that I hope you will check out, as that's one of the things I do that is unique to this channel. Very rarely do you see other channels cover topics like this. So if you find this content enjoyable, hope you will consider pressing that like button down below and subscribing to the channel if you find value in the content that I provide here. When Brock arrived at the site in Shropshire in May, he discovered that his metal detector was faulty. So this discovery was made last year in 2023, and as his hopes had dimmed, he turned to a piece of older equipment. So I assume he found a either, I don't know if he had an older detector or maybe one of the spot finders or whatever. But at first he found only a coin of little value, but that's just it. He's treasure hunting. So he's looking for whatever of value that could be found. Boy, I can't think of anything more valuable of a treasure than a rare gold nugget, the largest perhaps in the whole of England. That's amazing. Now, within 5 minutes after finding this coin of little value, and actually I'm a little bit curious as to what that coin was, but he made a shocking discovery after that, according to the auction house. It goes to show you that it doesn't really matter what equipment you use. If you are walking over the find and are alert enough to what might be lurking underneath the soil, that makes all the difference, Brock said in the release. And that really is true. In the very little metal detecting that I've done in my life, I found, you know, discernment and kind of just looking around and seeing what's there. And you know, there's different settings on the detector that can narrow down, but really it just comes to a keen understanding and a sense about it. Now, this nugget is considered to be a rare find. according to auctioneer Ben Jones of Mullock Jones, told CNN Thursday. How it made it to the dig site is a mystery. Parts of the Shropshire Hills were once under a prehistoric ocean, and pieces of coral are often unearthed there, according to the auction house. The site does contain an old road and railway line and has remnants of Welsh stone within, auctioneer Jones said, adding there's a variety of possibilities of how it made it there. Now, this auction will end in a few days. Although Hero's Nugget is believed to be the largest discovered so far in England, several previous finds in other parts of the United Kingdom dwarfed its size. Now, the record holder for all of the United Kingdom is a 121.3 gram reunion nugget. That's 4.3 ounces. And that was found in Scotland in 2019. And I think I actually did a video on that, and this might even be that nugget. I'm not sure. This looks familiar to the shape, and I very well may have done a video outlining what was discovered there. But this is quite intriguing. Let's take a look again at the nugget. It's actually beautifully shaped, but you can see here, which I think is quite intriguing, it looks to be some scuff marks, and this is really unfortunate because likely his shovel caught it and scraped it. It also doesn't say what the purity is. It looks to be a fairly high purity, perhaps 22 karat or somewhere thereabouts. Very little deposits of quartz you can see in the pits of this nugget, but that's a nice, solid, well-shaped nugget in my view. What an absolute amazing find here. And I just find it intriguing when somebody just encounters something like that. This is the stuff of dreams. We can only imagine digging through the ground and finding such an unusual object. It just literally maybe an inch or so below, or a couple inches below the surface, as they had mentioned. It's pretty remarkable. But these other discoveries and other nuggets have stories behind them too, especially the Welcome Stranger nugget. In fact, that dates back quite a number of years. Of nothing like this has ever been found since, but it has been made famous on 2 Australian coins. One, I think, started in 1986 or 1987, minted through 1989, maybe even more, and it's the Welcome Stranger, the Golden Nugget. Started the whole series of bullion coins for the Perth Mint that was called the Nugget even when they switched from this nugget or a nugget to the kangaroo. And it was called the kangaroo until I think 2007, and then called the Golden Nugget until 2007, and then starting in 2008, then they just went ahead and called it the kangaroo. But beautiful, amazing indeed. Now in Australia, you can literally just walk around in some parts of the desert out there in the western part of the country and just find these things, not this big, but 1, 2, 3 ounce nuggets laying on the desert floor. Those probably are few and far between these days, but that used to be the case. Very high purity nuggets out there, but unusual to find them in the United Kingdom like that, especially in England. So this makes it quite intriguing. And look at these big pieces here discovered by this metal detector. It's remarkable. It almost doesn't seem real. But when you pick one of these things up, it's the genuine article, because the weight of the gold in your hand is unmatched like anything else. So to find this thing is pretty remarkable. I'd be very curious to see what it goes for at the end of the auction. If it's the largest discovered in England, more than likely it's going to be much more than $50,000. I don't know. It could be. That's the estimated worth, but it's one of a kind. There's no other that's been found bigger. So I wouldn't be surprised if it got over $50,000 or 40,000 quid. We'll see what happens. But it's fascinating indeed. Stories like this are great. And again, I want to encourage you to check out the playlist and of others, Found Precious Metal Treasures. Those are timeless videos because they mark a point in time where people make great discoveries with their metal detectors, or just behind a piano, or what have you, gold coins discovered in homes. Lots of different cool stories like that. I love covering these types of topics. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.